And Steny sent me two questions. The first was, how can I get publicity? And I said, okay, you have to give me a little bit more information than that. And he wrote back and said, I want to publish my research paper about, quote, using passive vibration to increase blood circulation in people with diabetes type 2 in major media. Okay, now I have something to work with. And I think that's a useful exercise. That's why I shared that long discourse with you. If you're going to ask a question, not just to me, but to anyone, any PR person, any kind of advisor, be as specific as you can, because for all I know, he was writing a children's book or a self-help book or, anything. And frankly, there are different tactics and different strategies that work for different genres. So you have to know, or the consultant like me needs to know what your message is and what your goals are, so we can come up with an appropriate strategy for you. So PR is not a one-size-fits-all medium. You really need to figure out what the best end game is and what you're really going for, and then go for that. Okay, so I want to spend a fair amount of time answering Steny's question, because I think a lot of the strategies will be useful for many people on this call, regardless of whether you're doing things for type 2 diabetes or not. But there are certain strategies that do work across broad topics as well. So pick out from this conversation what you think will help you. So again, Steny's question is, I want to publish my research paper about, quote, using passive vibration to increase blood circulation in people with diabetes type 2 in major media. Okay, now, first of all, you have to ask yourself the question, is this a topic that major media really cares about? And in Steny's case, I think it is, because diabetes type 2 is a major, major problem in this country. It seems that you can't pick up a newspaper or magazine without reading about obesity or diabetes or complications or things related to that whole field. So that passes the first test. And the first test is, do reporters care about it, and do their readers care about it? Because if it doesn't pass that test, there's nothing you can do that's going to get you into the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or CNN, which is Steny's goal. So you have to come up with an angle that really works, and it's all about them. It's not about you. Reporters have absolutely no interest in helping you. They want to help their readers. They want to help their careers. And if somehow you have a message that helps them reach those goals, then bingo, now you have something that is a win-win-win situation. But I have too many clients, or I see too many people who say, oh, I have the world's greatest whatever, and it should be on the front page of the New York Times. Well, the only way you get on the front page of the New York Times is, if you're the president of the United States, or if you embezzle a couple of $1 billion, or, really, really big things. So, set realistic goals. So, again, getting back to Steny's situation here, he does have a good story, a good idea, using passive vibration to increase blood circulation in people with diabetes type 2. So the next question is, how do you want to get the message out? And that's a question of time and money and budget, which, frankly, a lot of people don't think about. They think they want to get into all the media and all the world and all the things, and that costs, frankly, a lot of money. I don't care whether you're doing it yourself, whether you buy a list from me, or whether you hire a PR firm. It takes a lot of time and energy to distribute messages to hundreds or thousands of people. In fact, when people call us up to buy lists from us, media lists from us, they say, how many people are on the list? And invariably, they're thinking in their own minds, gee, I hope there are a lot of people. And we've come to realize it's just the opposite. We hope that they give us so many parameters that it's a very narrow list so they can work with those people. Because frankly, if you have a list of 5,000 medical reporters, it's overwhelming. And frankly, I'm not making this up. There are over 5,000 medical reporters throughout the United States alone. So sending out 5,000 email messages, sure, you could do that. But making 5,000 phone calls? No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to pay a PR firm to call 5,000 people or follow up on 5,000 emails. It's just insane. You don't have the time, energy, or money. If you're IBM or General Motors or whatever, then that's a different story. But, that's not you, that's not me, that's not the universe we're operating in. So let's be realistic. So what I tell my clients to do is like narrow it down to like the 5 or 10 or 20 most important media that are really interested in this and that would really make a difference. Because there are a lot of media out there that frankly don't make a difference. Yeah, so Steny is totally right. If you get into the New York Times or CNN with a story like this, that would be a very, very good target. So Steny wins round 2 on targeting and making sure that your resources are deployed in the best possible way to go after the best media that would be interested in this, that would move the needle. And frankly, let's talk about social media for a minute, or this new media with all these blogs and whatever. I love them. Some of them can move the needle a lot. Some of them, frankly, are a waste of time. I've been on numerous podcasts where we have not moved the needle one iota. And I do podcasts for everyone because, frankly, I don't know who the next big guy is going to be. I worked with Tim Ferriss when he was just starting out, and who knew that he would become so big? And that's great, and more power to him. And I've worked with 1,000 other people who wished they could be Tim Ferriss and didn't reach one iota of his success. And, life happens. That's why there's one Taylor Swift and a million other teenage girls who want to be Taylor Swift. That's the law of the land. So in any case, the point here is that some media is not worth chasing after. So go after the ones that really matter. It's not a numbers game in terms of, I got to 167 places. Did you get into the 5 that really matter? So Steny is right here and going after those top tier, because he has a top tier kind of story. So how do you actually get your message to them? Well, there are a couple of ways. First, he says the New York Times or CNN. Well, there are a lot of reporters at CNN and the New York Times. Only one of them covers medical stuff, or 2 or 3 people. So if you send it to the executive editor or the city editor, you're wasting your time. You need to do your research. And a lot of people I find are very lazy about this. They'll basically find one name on a masthead or send to a general inbox on a newspaper, the editor, managing editor, city editor, health editor, whatever. You got to make it personal. That's the point here. You have to make it personal. You have to show them that you care about them, that you read them, that this is not just one more pitch that they are getting blind from a PR firm that doesn't know them from Adam and is just pitching everyone under the sun. And reporters get hundreds, literally hundreds of pitches every single day. You think you're unique, and you are. But when you're on the receiving end of 100 pitches, most of them being for things that the reporter really does not care about because these lazy PR people or people who are using PR strategies just start doing a spray and pray method, that's wrong. And that bites everyone, and it hurts everyone, you and me included, because people are not targeting. So imagine if you're a reporter and you actually do get an email that says, hey, I really enjoyed your segment on diabetes last month. You really covered it really well. And I have a new strategy or this new theory that's worked out, and here's how it works, and here's how it helps people, and I'd be happy to have you interview me. So that sounded really convincing and short, and that's really the key here, short. Reporters don't have time to wade through a lot of pitches, and if you don't grab them right away, they're gone. I mean, think about your own life here. If you go to looking for a movie or a restaurant, and you go to Google and you see some reviews on Yelp, and 2 bad reviews, they're like a line or 2 each, and they're bad, and you're gone. And so people don't have long attention spans these days. I would say for the last 20 or 30 years or so, attention spans have decreased tremendously. So you really have to grab them with 4 or 5 sentences. And here are the magic 4 or 5 sentences that I would use. And remember, they're all focused on the reporter and their audience. So it's like, your readers, that'll be for a newspaper, or your viewers for television or radio, are interested in learning how to combat the debilitating effects of diabetes type 2. And you might have a statistic in there that says, more than X million people today have diabetes, or diabetes rate is growing by X percent. Your readers need to find solutions. My laboratory has come up with a solution called passive vibration to increase blood circulation. It's been proven to be effective. I'd be happy to show you how this works. Now, if you're in television, if you have some kind of visual that would work, I can show you my lab. I can show you with patients. If you're in print, if you can show them that you have patients that they can talk to or other scientists they can talk to, that's good because they want to make it more than just a one person or one source story. They want to get you have to produce the whole segment for them, basically. So you're giving them a patient, you're giving them a doctor, you're giving them a scientist, so they can tell the whole story through three different people's perspectives. So that would really help. And then the call to action. Would you like to set up an interview? Would you like to visit my lab? Can I come down to your office and show you more about this? Whatever you think is appropriate given your situation is perfect. And then you have your contact information and, of course, a link to your website. Now, never, ever, ever include an attachment. We live in a spam world, a virus world, and reporters are afraid to open attachments from anyone that they don't know. Even if you sound like a legitimate scientist here, they really don't know if you're, some 400-pound guy in New Jersey who's going to unleash, a virus on their system. So don't include any attachments. Those are really the key points here. Find your message, find your targeted audience, contact them with a short, pithy, punchy pitch letter, and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, what should you do? Well, the worst thing you can do is say, did you get my press release or did you get my pitch letter? That's journalism hell. If they got it and they wanted to do something with it, they would have contacted you. If they didn't contact you, then chances are they weren't interested, so why bring up a negative? So you can pitch them again on a different angle. So maybe that angle didn't work. Think of a different angle. Be creative. What other reasons would they be interested in this story? And you just might hit on the right answer there. So good luck, Svenny. Let me know what happens. If you have any follow-up questions, please do let me know. I'm happy to help you out there.